It's time for Recipe of the Day. So you know that I love all of the recipes that I tell you about from my websites, but I do have favorites. And in the case of today's ground beef and zucchini skillet, I know it's a favorite because I make it for myself when I'm home alone for dinner and I gobble up the leftovers. It's like the thing that I like pull out of the fridge and snack on while I'm deciding what to eat, like really cold ground beef and zucchini. Weird, right? I also love to take the leftovers and put them in a soup bowl with some broth and have it like soup for leftover the next day. Now I'm saying I make this for myself because nobody in my house other than me likes zucchini and I love it. So when they're not here, it is my chance to dive in, and I dive into this. It is just such an easy ground beef and zucchini skillet dinner. Delicious. Before I jump into explaining how, I'm going to tell you that the recipe itself does not have rice in it. Unlike a lot of my other skillet dinners, the ground beef and rice skillet that tastes like stuffed peppers that I tell you about all the time, that one has rice in it, of course. There's a chicken and rice skillet and a shrimp and rice skillet. Those are skillet dinners with rice in them. This one doesn't have rice in it. And the reason is that I find that the zucchini gets really mushy in the time it takes the rice to cook. Having said that, I'm going to tell you how to do it after I explain the recipe. So if you do want to add rice in, I'm going to tell you how. Just know the zucchini is going to be a little bit extra soft if you do that. But yeah, my preference is to cook the rice separately and then serve this over rice or over egg noodles, or you know what, just by itself. It's really hearty and delicious just as is. But yeah, usually I serve it over rice and I cook my rice in the Instant Pot. So I will link to how to cook rice in the Instant Pot if you want to do the rice separately the way that I do. Okay, so how do you make this easy ground beef and zucchini skillet? You start with a large skillet over medium-high heat, and to that you're adding a pound of lean ground beef. I will say that my grocery store often packages the ground beef in more than a pound, like 1 1/3 pounds, and you can totally use that here. You don't need to just stick to the 1 pound. And of course, you could use ground turkey or ground chicken instead. Those work as well. So you're going to add the ground meat to the skillet and sprinkle it with half a teaspoon of salt and then cook, stirring occasionally until it's browned about 4 to 5 minutes. Then you're going to add a medium-sized onion that you've chopped up along with some zucchini that you've sliced into 1/2-inch thick half moons. So you slice the zucchini in half lengthwise and then do those little half moons through the zucchini. You're going to want 3 small to medium-sized zucchini, not those big honkin' big garden ones. You want the littler ones, about 3 of them. You're also adding 2 cloves of garlic that you've minced up and a teaspoon of Italian seasoning and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt here as well. And you're going to cook, stirring that occasionally until the zucchini is just starting to soften in the center. It's about 6 to 8 minutes. Then you're going to add in a 14-ounce can of diced tomatoes with their juice and drizzle everything in that skillet with 2 teaspoons of red wine vinegar. You're going to cook while stirring that until most of the moisture has evaporated. It'll just take a couple of minutes, and then go in with some freshly cracked black pepper and a 1/4 cup of shredded Parmesan cheese over top. That is it. Oh, it's so good. That red wine vinegar with the black pepper and Parmesan cheese just brings it all together at the end. So like bright and rich. It's just, oh, so delicious. I cannot wait to make this again. Now, I told you that I would explain what to do if you wanted to have rice right in there, cooked in the skillet. And I'll explain to you the basics of it first, and then I'll tell you what to do. Basically, what we want to do is add the rice right around when we add the zucchini. We'll add all the liquid in then as well, and then we will simmer that all together. So we're basically skipping the step where the zucchini is softening by being sauteed and just moving right to its simmering in liquid, and then it won't get too mushy, okay? So when you add the onion, the zucchini, garlic, Italian seasoning, and the last 1/2 teaspoon of salt, you're also going to add a cup of uncooked long grain white rice, 1 1/2 cups of liquid, either chicken stock or broth or beef stock or broth. And you're also going to add the 14-ounce can of diced tomatoes with their juice and the 2 teaspoons of red wine vinegar. Then you're going to bring that up to a simmer over high heat, drop it down to low, give it a quick stir, and then cover it and let it just cook there on low until the rice is tender. It's going to take about 18 to 20 minutes. Open it up, give it a nice gentle stir to fluff the rice up, and then you finish with the cracked black pepper and the Parmesan cheese. However you do it, it's going to be so delicious. I cannot wait for you to try this one. I will put the link to this recipe in the show notes for this podcast episode, or you can head to cookthestory.com/ROTD and get it there. Everything there is arranged by date, so it's helpful to know that today is February 3rd of 2026. I am Christine Pittman from cookthestory.com, thecookful.com, the all-new chicken cookbook, cookfor2.us, and this podcast, Recipe of the Day. I hope you have a great day. Let's get cooking.